Good morning, and welcome to Unity of Orange County. We're so glad that you decided to join us today, and we always like to begin with our vision and our mission statement. Our vision here is centered in divine love. We joyfully co create a world that works for all. And our mission is to awaken, inspire, and transform lives. And we have with us the people that always help us put the service together, and I always like to recognize them. We have Bill on piano, and Tom is on sound, and John is doing streaming, and Christopher is on the camera. And a friend of mine, John from North Carolina, is doing the meditation. So we're glad that you're all here. And today was the last day for us to bring the gift cards for our program with South County Outreach. And I want to thank everybody because we have quite a bit in there still today, but we've picked up many gift cards. And so we're really going to be able to make a lot of people's Christmas a lot better. So I want to thank everybody who gave a gift card. And also today, after the service, is our 40 Days of Gratitude. And that is going to be at 11 o'clock, and it's going to be held on Zoom. And then on Christmas Eve at 6:30, we are having a Zoom service. And we may do something here as well, but I'll let you know about that. But it will definitely be on Zoom. And the ID for that is 426 960 4138. And we know you all love Unity of Orange County. And like I had said last week, you usually have a big fundraiser this time of year, a party and everything. But this year we're having an fundraiser. So instead of coming to the church and having to bring goodies and all of that, you get to stay at home and do nothing. All you have to do is buy a ticket or two or three or four. The tickets are $25 a piece. You could pay for them the way you would send your tithes to us on our website or by text or on our app. But when you do buy a ticket, please, instead of putting it down under tithes, put it down as other so we could keep track of that. And we want you to know that we appreciate whatever gifts you give us. And like a lot of people this time of year, we are closed and things are not like they used to be. So we appreciate whatever tickets you can buy. And remember to look at all of our activities on our website, www.unityoforangecounty.org. And now we'll have our daily word. And the daily word for today, Sunday, December 6, 2020, the word for the day is peace. Peace flows through me and blesses the world. Peace flows through me and blesses the world. The light of God shines within all people. I pause to remember this truth as I consider the world and my relationship to it. Jesus said, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you." The same divine light that lived in Jesus is shining brightly in me. My peace is a gift I choose to give to the world. I bless the world by affirming the kingdom of God is among us, here and now. It is through this Christ-centered awareness that I project a consciousness of peace. I live, move, and have my being in the light, love, and peace of God. I expand my awareness of divine ideas through prayer and meditation. And I do my part to uplift the consciousness of the entire planet. I am walking in the light of God, and I am at peace. And from Revelation 21:24, the nations will walk by its light, and the kings of the earth will bring their glory onto it. Peace flows through me and blesses the world. And now let's prepare for our time of meditation.
Good morning. And now for the meditation. Assume a comfortable position, seated or however you choose, but try to keep a straight spine, as straight as possible. Imagine like a string at the top of your head pulling you up and aligning all your vertebrae. If you're comfortable with it, close your eyes or have an out-of-focus gaze and start to relax into your body, into the comfort of being in this moment. And start to relax your body from your feet, up your legs, up your stomach, your back. Release any tension you may feel in your shoulders and down your arms. Let your neck just be as free as possible. And let your head also release any tension or let go of any thoughts that might be present. And just relax in the comfort of the being in this moment. And now begin to see the divine light as it enters your body from the top of your head, flowing down through your head and your arms and your chest and your back, all the way down through your legs. And feel this divine light as it works throughout your being to help you to release and relax and let go of any tensions, any thinking, just to be in the presence that brings peace, that brings unity within, that allows the healing power of the divine within your life. And take a few moments, a few minutes to see this light, be in this light, and feel this light as it vibrates through your whole being. Ever reminding yourself that you are this light. It is within you, it is without, it is all around, it is all encompassing, it is all being. Now begin to bring your awareness back into your room, back into the present. And remember as you go through your day that this divine light is always with you, has always been with you, and will always be with you.
Thank you, Bill, for that beautiful, peaceful piece of music. And thank you, John, for that peaceful meditation. So if you haven't figured it out, today is the second Sunday in Advent, and it is peace. So I'm going to light the second Advent candle representing peace. So there's lots of different kinds of peace, but that true peace has to come from within. A modern day teacher said, steadfast affirmations of peace will harmonize the whole body structure and open the way to attainment of health conditions in body and mind. So when we have a peace from within, we feel more aligned with spirit. We feel more in alignment with the world. We feel more in alignment with ourselves. Any kind of healing, any kind of serenity comes from a peace within. We like to think that if things would just be better out there, we would feel more peaceful. So if the coronavirus was gone, we would feel more peaceful. If the weather was better, we would feel more peaceful. If we weren't unemployed, we would feel more peaceful. If we had more money in the bank, we would feel more peaceful. But the fact of the matter is that none of those conditions have anything at all to do with peace. When I lived in Miami, I had this friend, and she had a lot of money. I mean, she had a lot of money. And she lived in this gorgeous apartment up high overlooking Biscayne Bay. I mean, it was just, she drove a beautiful car, and she didn't have to work, and she was so uncomfortable with herself that she never found any peace. So having all that stuff doesn't bring us peace. But Jesus is called the Prince of Peace. And he came, he said, to bring us peace. And he taught us that it is a peace beyond what the world can give us. So when we think of peace, for me, one of my favorite spiritual healers is a woman by the name of Peace Pilgrim. I was given a book by her years ago, and she absolutely fascinated me. So this is a woman who grew up like in a normal home, was married, didn't get along with her husband. It was during World War II. She was a peace activist. He was joining the army, and so they got divorced, and she knew there was something for her to do, but she didn't know what it was. So one day she goes into the woods and she has this spiritual experience, and she understands that somehow she is supposed to bring a message of peace to the world. So at the age of 45, she gave away all of her possessions and got herself a tunic with a pocket in the front that said Peace Pilgrim. And she decided that she was going to practice nonviolence, and her thing in life was to bring peace to the world. So she walked from New York to Washington, D.C., and then she got the idea to walk the Appalachian Trail. She was the first woman to ever walk the Appalachian Trail. And then after she did that, she decided that she was going to walk for peace. So she decided she was going to walk across the United States. In the years in her life, she walked back and forth across the United States. I think it was she walked for 28 years, crossing the United States in all different ways. She had no backpack. She had nothing with her except she wore this tunic, and she had a little pocket where she kept a notebook and a pen so she could write something. And on the front, it said Peace Pilgrim, and on the back, it said something about that walking for peace. And her idea was that she wasn't going to push her message on anyone. She was going to wait until people approached her. And after a while, people began to see this woman who's now in her 60s, into her 70s, walking thousands and thousands and thousands of miles, only sleeping indoors when people offered her a place to sleep, eating when people offered her food. And people began to find out about her. And so she started talking in different churches and organizations. People thought she was Christian. People thought she was Hindu. People thought she was Buddhist. She wasn't anything. She just believed that peace came from within, and that how we would establish peace in the world was by having peace within us. What's interesting is she was on her way to talk to a group, and I think she was 74, and someone gave her a ride in the car. And on the way to the speaking, someone hit them head on, and she died. So after walking 28 years across the United States with nothing, no kind of support or anything else, never had anything happen to her, she dies in a car accident, which is so weird. But she said in her life, she said that death was a glorious transition to freer living. And she also told a friend, when my work on this planet Earth is done, I want to move out very quickly. And so she attained that. And this message that she gave was this message of peace. She said that, one of her quotes was, "When you find peace within yourself, you become the kind of person who can live at peace with others." She also said, to attain inner peace, you must actually give your life, not just your possessions. When you at last give your life, bringing into alignment your beliefs and the way you live, then and only then can you begin to find inner peace. And here she gave us criteria for knowing if we have inner peace. There is a criterion by which you can judge whether the thoughts you are thinking and the things you are doing are right for you. The criterion is, Have they brought you inner peace? So here is a person who practiced what Jesus was teaching us. You know, there are people out there, Gandhi was one, who understood that peace has to begin with us, that we can't change the world by violence, that we can only change the world through peaceful living. You know, people could not believe that Gandhi was going to free India without ever drawing a weapon. But he said, you know, how can the British keep this many Indians from freedom once they decide to do it? And no matter what was done to him, he practiced peace, because we think that we can get what we want through negative action, through war, through all of that. But true peace can only come from within. So how do we find that peace? Well, one way is meditation. The meditation we just had is a perfect example of it. We can't get that inner peace from looking outside. We have to spend time every day in the silence. We have to stop when agitated and breathe deeply and find that place of peace. Because if we don't find that place of peace, we can't change the world. We have to ask ourselves, what are the actions that we do? How do we treat others? Do we treat others the way we want to be treated? Do we offer a smile and a peaceful presence when we meet other people? When someone comes at us with negativity and tries to attack us, do we respond in the same, or do we just step back and say nothing? And through our actions, we can change that other person. So there's this wonderful true story in World War I. It was 1914. And World War I, if you aren't familiar with it, was a rough war in the fact that this was the first time this many countries were at war, and they were trying to fight for property a little at a time. And so what they would do is they would build these trenches on both sides, and they would be in these trenches, and then one side would try and go and attack the other. And it was a really violent war. And so it was a Christmas Eve in 1914, and the British were in their trenches, and the Germans were in their trenches. And they had been fighting for weeks. And all of a sudden, the Germans started singing Silent Night, and they began to come up out of their trench. And then the British came up out of their trench, and they actually joined together. Well, there was a candy company that made a commercial which for Christmas time, which shows this thing that happened, and we're going to see that commercial now.
Jenkins, Oakley. No.
Ein Briter kommt! Ein Briter kommt!
Jim?
Jim, no, don't do it!
Halt! Er ist nicht bewaffnet! Nein, Otto!
Jim!
My name is Jim.
Mein Name ist Otto.
Pleased to meet you, Otto.
Freut mich.
Rose, she's called.
Das ist schön. Das ist schön. Danke.
Happy Christmas.
Frohe Weihnachten.
Well, this may be true. Christmas is for sharing, but what if we started to share our peace instead of gifts? You know, what if we thought about what is something we can give to others, we can share with others that doesn't have a price tag on it, that you don't get at a store? Well, one of those things is peace. That is the main idea that we should be sharing at Christmas time. You know, Jesus says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." So when we give our peace to someone, we are helping that person maybe get through a difficult time. A lot of people right now are having a hard time with everything going on in the world. When we offer peace, which could come as simple as a smile that we give to someone, or saying hello to a stranger, or just letting the people that we know, that we love, that we care for them, and we're concerned about them, and that we're there for them, can help share the peace. So I invite you this Christmas, instead of thinking necessarily about what gifts can you give to someone, ask how can you share your peace with someone. And if you're not feeling very peaceful, sit in the silence and meditate on how can I share the peace within me to others outside. And when we do that, we create a world of peace, even if it's only for a short time. So I invite you to close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself this question. Do I feel peace within? If the answer is no, ask yourself, are you sitting in the silence? Are you picturing the light of God and peace and love filling you? And then ask yourself this: how can I share my peace with someone else? How can I brighten someone else's life? Someone else's burden? Not with necessarily a gift that's shiny and new and wrapped up with a ribbon, but with the gift of peace and hope, the gift of love and joy. That is how we should be spending our Advent season. That is how we can make the world a little brighter, a little better, even if we only touch one person's life. We become a peace pilgrim. we become as Jesus asked us to be. Vehicles of peace in this world. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Bill. That was beautiful. So at Unity, we have 5 basic principles that we believe, and we like to affirm them every week. And the first one is God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. And 2, I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. And 3, I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. And 4, through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. And 5, I do and give my best by living the truth that I know. I make a difference. And one way we can make a difference is through giving. And one thing we can do is we can give of our talents, we can give our gifts. If you would like to give a gift to Unity of Orange County, you can do it on our website under the donations, or you can do it by texting 77977 and in the message put Unity of OC Give. Or if you have our app, you can do it on our app, or you can mail it into the church. We appreciate any of your gifts. We really do. So thank you for the gifts that you've given us, and thank you for the gifts that you are about to give us. And now we like to say an affirmation over our giving. So if you are at home, I invite you to take your phone or whatever way you're going to give your gifts as we affirm together our blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. And so now we like to close with our prayer, our closing prayer. So remember, next week we continue with the Advent season. Please, if you haven't given your gift cards, don't send them in now. It's too late. But if you want to give a gift, you can send it to someone else. And just remember that this Christmas season is about sharing the gift of peace and love with each other. So let us close with our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you, God. And thank you, and have a safe and blessed week. See you next week.